Everybody, what is up? Welcome to our Walking Dead Empires stream. I'm Zach Peterson, the development director, aka Captain, ready to lead you through a fun 30 to 60 minutes here. Welcome, Brandon, lead designer on the game. Welcome back,
Hello.
Brandon.
Thank you.
Oh, we're here. Thank you. Thank you. Very festive. 'Tis the season. In the wasteland, there's still Christmas, I think. You got to celebrate the holidays to really, remember what the world used to be before before the dead were walking.
Decorations on your walker.
Yeah, light them up. They don't mind.
I'm not sure if that's canon, but
we'll see. Yeah, I'll ask later. But welcome back. Welcome everybody watching today. We've got Paul running things behind the scenes. Thank you for being here, Paul, and letting us address everybody. So what do you think, Brandon? Should we, at the top of the hour here, kind of give the big announcement?
Yeah, I think you make people happy.
Okay, let's do it. I think we had a question about it already too. When's the next play test? January 31st is the next play test, and we are super excited to have everybody get their hands on it. This one, so the last playtest we did for 2 days. This one we are planning on doing for 2 weeks. So we are going to let this thing run. We're going to let progress be made, bases be built, walkers be killed. And we're here to talk about all the cool stuff that we've been building over the last few months since the last playtest.
Yeah, you're not going to have to worry about trying to fit it in on the weekend, or if it's going to overlap with your work schedule or something. You got 2 full weeks, so hopefully that is enough time where all of you will be able to get in and play.
I know there are some people who played for many, many hours over the 48-hour period. We were live last time. I'm excited to see how far people get into it this time. This will be, it's going to be crazy.
Remember, you don't have to play the entire 2 weeks. You know, there's other things in your life you might need to address.
Yeah. You can take your time, go through at your leisure. So really kind of a high level of what we were building in the time we've been away is we wanted to take that 1 to 2 day experience and really be able to stretch it out to add the systems that give you the progress. You'll feel the progress, feel like it's becoming more of a game. I mean, really, it was a technical test last time around where we just built a really fun experience. We let people get into it and play for those 2 days, but any longer, and you're kind of through the content. We're hoping that we have, the systems in place to really make it feel like a solid 2 week experience right now. And yeah, let's walk through some of the features that we've done here. Brandon, you have the game up, right? You want to kind of show people what we've been building?
I do. Let's see. All right, I see it there.
Okay, look at that. So that's one of the first big things is we have more characters. Last time we only had 4 characters to choose from, fan favorites Rick and Michonne, as well 2 of our originals. We are up to 14 out of the 20 characters that were available in our card packs. So every one of the 20 will be playable in this next demo. We've got Negan there, you can see. Some of these are looking just really awesome. Fan favorite Glenn. Yeah.
Personal favorite Maggie.
Personal favorite, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe does anyone want to choose who we play as today?
Oh yeah. This is a great time to give the shout out too. So we are looking at comments on YouTube and Twitch. Also looking at the Discord. So make sure to go to galagames.chat. You can jump into our Discord and check things out. So we're looking at that as well. So trying to keep an eye on questions people have while we're going to be here and any comments people have. So yeah, keep cycling through those characters. Yeah, Mercer, fantastic.
Rick, Michonne, Daryl, Negan. Oh man, I need all their names up here. Morgan.
I think we should do Morgan.
Morgan, all right.
Yeah, I have a question from the YouTube there about how can you get into the next playtest, and it'll be a public playtest. So Gala.Games on the 31st, you'll be able to go in and download the game and start playing. So, all right, let's do Morgan.
All right, I'll be Superboy.
Superboy.
Gotta match my Discord name, it's important.
positive comment on the YouTube comments there. Last play test was fun AF.
That's good. Hopefully this next one you also think is fun AF.
Heck yeah. So one neat thing about what we're doing here as well is this is Thursday mornings. We play this game as a team of 35 people working on the game, and we get together every Thursday, play through it, see what's been new in the build, what's been coming in, have a discussion, kind of hang out as a team and just chat through it for an hour. So this is kind of a peek into that for everybody as well. We've got the devs playing along in here, so Brandon will probably see them as we're running around and doing stuff.
Yeah, hopefully they can come find my base, come play along.
So a little later in the stream as well, we'll be doing some spectator mode and seeing what everybody else is doing in the game. Check that out. So one thing that you will notice as Brandon starts to run around here as well, one thing I'm excited about is that we have some walker variety. So not just physical changes in the way that the walkers look, but also some changes to the strategy, combat strategy. So we've got a bigger walker right there that has a ability. You can see they're doing a cast bar as she attacks that can cast a snare on the player and slow them down as they're moving in the world. So it starts to make you need to move around a bit. You see the cast bar fire off and you need to run. You'll also see that we have unarmed combat. We didn't have that last time around, did we, Brandon?
I don't believe we did. Look at me, I'm punching. No,
so we now have
trouble.
3-hit combo unarmed combat. So there's a way to at least kind of knock them back a bit when you don't have a weapon. As we see the other walkers, we'll call them out. We have a few more variety in there as well that we'll see. Brandon, when you see them, give a shout too.
So this is an example of one of the heavy walkers here. Lunges forward, and I kept moving out of its path, but I suppose I could show what happens if I stay in the path of a walker as it lunges at me. Oh, but this will be cool. So this is an exploder, which you can probably guess what it's going to do. I'm going to get out of the way, but it exploded.
Some more. Looks like that one might have hit you, or else you're pretty low on health there. You might want to get a med kit if you can.
I'm going to have to find one.
So yeah. So the exploder, it's another enemy type that makes you a little bit more on your toes, making sure that you need to not just run right into the fray. Going to have to move around as combat is happening. So yeah, we're just making constant improvements there. You can also see that there's a lot more skills down on that bar too. So we have each weapon currently has 3 combat abilities that you can fire off. You want to do which weapon do you have equipped? You have the baseball bat equipped right now, so you can see the cast bar for that.
So I guess I should find something to hit with it. That will be more exciting. All right, here we go.
I also want to point out that awesome effect that you just did right there too. Our effects artist, Vince, has been hard at work really upgrading our combat effects that we got in there. So everything has been tuned since the last demo. The 3-hit swipes, the combat abilities, everything getting a good pass right now. So making it feel a lot more impactful, which is cool.
So if you saw there, I did a home run swing with my bat, and it stunned the heavy walker. So he was not able to lunge at me. Oh, here's one of the firemen, and this is an igniter. Let's give it a good old smack. Oh no, I was taking my time trying to show off, and it got the better of me.
So right now, you will still, people usually have questions on what happens when you die in the world. Once again, you will respawn at your base. If you don't have a base built, you're going to respawn randomly within the zone that you're in. So that is the current plan. There will be some additional death detriments, I believe would be the word I'm looking for, that you could probably speak to a bit, Brandon. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, so if I look here in my inventory, I can see that the tools and weapons and stuff that I have in here have lost some durability. Part of that is from me using them, but also since I was just killed, they all lost some durability there. It's not happening right now, but I also would have dropped these resources that I'm carrying. which can be a very good deterrent to not go out and get killed when you're trying to gather resources, because then you lose them. Hey, I found Mercer out here in the world.
There we go. We need to be able to really zoom in to get into his the glory of his butt flap, but currently can't do that.
Talking about you gotta watch season 11 of The Walking Dead.
Mercer is one of my favorite characters. Fantastic character. Another thing you may notice is we no longer have the hot swap between melee and ranged weapons. We now have a hot swap toolbar on the bottom there. So you want to kind of like show that off a bit?
Yeah, so I'm going to craft another weapon here. Let's get a katana. Now you see it has appeared down here, so of course I can just press 4 on my keyboard, and now I have that equipped. In my inventory, I can choose, what is going to be on my hotbar. Put the katana up there instead of some of this other stuff. Now I can press 1 to go to my baseball bat, 3 to my katana. Should probably get some ranged weaponry. But I guess I'm going to have to gather some more.
There you go. And look at that. Also bring that crafting menu back up. So that's another sort of exciting thing, is we have a lot more craftable items, including ammunition. Those will be shifted to the crafting stations that we'll have in the world. So that's something that you can place in the game right now. That'll be hooked up to your NFTs, which we'll talk about at a later date. But yeah, like a lot more items that you can get in there. You can craft. We'll have item scavenging, so you can find items in the world and then scrap them down to the base resources. So just much deeper systems all around in there, which is really exciting.
I'll make some bandages. Seems like a good thing to have.
Okay.
So I need to scavenge some parts from the world. So there's a lot more resources than in the previous demo. I think we just had the basic metal, wood, and stone. So now there's things like parts and textiles, and you probably saw a lot of other things as I was going through the crafting recipes in there.
We had a question come in about the crafting stations. Do you want to go, are you able to drop one in at your base?
I'm not sure if I'm high enough level. Let's check it out.
So run back to your base over here.
Yeah, let's see. Let's pop down an arsenal in here.
So the crafting menu's gotten some upgrades, or the build menu's gotten some upgrades as well. You can see it's a different camera mode where you can move around freely in it. So if you want to get out of the way of placing a wall, you can do so. Rotate items using the R key rather than just the mouse. So a little less twitchy right there. You can see Brandon Superboy running around as he's building. So some cool stuff happening there as well, trying to make it easier. The crafting stations you can place right now, those are just freely placeable in the dev environment. And as you move up to them, you can craft the items that are associated with that crafting station. So this one, what do you have dropped right there?
This is the cookery. And Morgan here is looking to get a veggie skewer, but he doesn't have enough carrots.
Gotta find the carrots, plant the carrots.
It's a tragic tale.
So the ranged and the melee stations right now, if you walk up to them, you can craft stuff. You've got the arsenal. That was our last sale. If you craft at them currently in the game, what we're playing at dev, they can craft higher quality items, which gives them more durability. Soon that will be in the demo that we'll be playing next month, January 31st. You'll be able to craft only specific items. So right now when you tap C, it gives you the full list. That's going to be culled down to just kind of, what's the term we're using for crafting out in the wild?
Crude crafting.
Crude crafting.
Yeah.
So crude crafting will only let you build certain items, and then you'll need to go to a crafting station to build the more advanced things.
And when you crude craft, it's going to be the lowest quality. It'll be a 1-star. And as those who have looked into the crafting stations, those can craft up to 5-star once they're high enough rarity.
Yeah. So another thing to kind of maybe go over there as you bring up build mode again real quick. There's kind of a cool new system that we've switched to since the last demo. The upkeep system was a little rough, so we decided that we changed it a bit, and now it wasn't as popular as we had hoped. So we now have a territory system with the headquarters where you can kind of see around Brandon's base. As you level up your base, the territory expands. So the higher level base, the more space you have to build. And that goes along with the rarities. So you start with a common headquarters. You can level up and upgrade all the way to the ancient headquarters. And then you're going to have larger footprints to build your base on for each of those. So somebody could come around, they could put a base next to Brandon's there, upgrade that one. And if Brandon doesn't build his base, the new construction, let's say I put mine next to him, will eventually take over his area and remove his base. So
yeah, you can start territory fighting. And the way you kind of defend or attack with that is by upgrading your base further. And of course, you can bring in your allies to help you out as they build in their bases. Uh-oh, someone's bringing over some walkers.
Speaking of allies, that was something that we were talking about with, I saw a comment come in on the stream here, was the question about allies and guilds. So we do plan on having the guild system in on this next demo too. So we don't have anything to show off on that one currently. It is in flight, but you will be able to join a start up an alliance and have your friends join it.
Yeah, and that alliance design has changed a little bit since the last time we've talked about it. Previously, we had talked about how with an HQ like I have built here, you would have alliance kind of centered around that, and you would live in that HQ together as an alliance. That has evolved now. The alliance, you'll be able to, kind of in a more traditional sense, you'll be able to just team up with any other players. Probably in your best interest to team up with people who are near you, so you can all kind of build together and work together. But it's not a requirement. So then you'll have that alliance, and you can build on each other's territory. So as you see, my green territory here, once I make that bigger and there's more room that I haven't already built on, my allies would be able to come in. Maybe my allies would have built these crafting stations here for me, or for us, so that we could all use them. And then if enemies or other people were building nearby and their territory was creeping in, then the combined territory of me and my allies, our HQs, that would help defend our area from them.
Yeah, so people were kind of playing together without any sort of in-game mechanics supporting that the last time around, and this time you'll get to actually play with your friends and have some of those supported. So I think it's going to make it a much more immersive experience too, being able to run around. So, and part of that running around is, and a question we get all the time, is PvP and what that means in the game and how that works. So do you want to talk about that for a moment, Brandon?
Yeah, so in the upcoming demo, we're going to have certain zones where you'll be able to PvP with each other, attack each other, kill each other, that sort of thing. So it's not going to be everywhere, so you will be safe, like right here with Big Snugs here mining. I can't go up and kill him. But if you see on my mini map over here, one of these zones is marked red. That is a battleground, and if I go over there, then people will kill me, or maybe I will kill them, depending on who's better. But you'll be able to use all these weapons and fight. There will be reasons why you will want to go to the battleground. There are specific resources that will be abundant there that are very scarce throughout the rest of the world, or the rest of the map. So it might be a shortcut to go there and gather them quickly and get out alive. Or it might be a shortcut to dying. Gonna have to see what happens.
Yeah, the PvP came on recently again here, and it was as much chaos as we had assumed would be the chaos of PvP, where I was playing with 4 or 5 other devs, and we just kept killing each other over and over again, and would run out of weapons and durability very quickly because you just charge right back into the battle. But that's why it's segmented into specific zones, and it's a lot of fun. It was a awesome time, and I'm excited to see what happens and the chaos that ensues when our players get their hands on it.
And if those with keen eyes noticed I just chopped down a tree and my lumberjack skill improved, we've added some masteries to the game. So as you do various tasks in the world, mining rocks, cutting down trees, basically everything you can do, you will have some masteries that improve as you go through those.
Yeah, this is a huge addition. Just the player upgrade path. I think we're calling them upgrades. We could bring up that menu. Let's show that off a bit. So we have 3 different types of upgrades that are happening now. You've got your skill tree. So as the player levels up, they're able to put points into the tree and get different benefits from that. So some of the stuff that Brandon's showing there. So your player has 2 skill trees, correct? Each character?
Yes, and they will. Each character has 2 of them, and no character is going to have the same 2. So there's some choice that you got to make there of who you want to play as.
And those trees are tied to the characters themselves, correct? So when you choose your character based on the NFTs that you're bringing into the game, there will be kind of that specific upgrade path that you can then choose, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and also all of this will be saved to the character progression, correct? So like as not for this demo, but in the future, the idea is that we'll have progression saved onto the NFTs themselves. So if you were to transfer that, give it to a friend, let another friend play, that progress is saved.
Exactly. So I'm playing as Morgan right now, and as I go through and apply some of my skill points, which I earn by leveling up the hero, then these are saved to Morgan. And if I was to switch and play as somebody else, they would have different skill trees. And they, as I level up that hero, I would earn more skill points and could apply them to their skill tree. Same thing with the masteries and talents that you see up here. Those are all tied to your hero. And when you switch to a different hero, they'll have their own set. So you can work on leveling them all up individually. Or just
cool. Yeah, let's see that masteries tab. So that's kind of what you were just showing while we were chopping down trees. This is another work in progress. A lot of things are going to be work in progress that you're seeing. But this one is kind of showing how just by performing actions within the game, you'll be better at those actions in the future. So the chopping down trees, killing walkers with your ranged weapons, with your melee. Yeah.
Yeah, eventually this whole screen will be filled up with more. But obviously, like Zach said, a lot of things are in progress. We're just getting in the basics right now.
And then the skills can be reset. I saw a question come in. So yeah, your skill tree, you do have the ability to do a respec. So you can reset your points down there. So that's one thing as you're leveling up. If you feel like you made a mistake as you're going through the tree, you can always respec. Do you want to go through the talent section?
Yeah, so in here is your talents, and you'll notice there's 6 different categories. You earn talent points the same way that you earn skill points by leveling up your hero. And as you do so, you will be able to spend them in here, choosing the first category would be crafting. So if I chose to upgrade my crafting, then it enables me to craft higher tiers of weapons. There is a scale from 1 to 10 tiers for all the items that you can craft. So you won't be able to craft tier 3 items until you're talented enough to do that. And then the other categories here are for using the different tiers of items. So if I upgrade my ranged weapons, if I was to upgrade to tier 2, then I would be able to use tier 2 weapons. So depending on how you upgrade your talents, you could be able to craft tier 2 weapons before you could use them, or vice versa. But as you continue to upgrade your hero, you'll keep getting more talents, and then you can balance that out with how you choose.
Very cool. And then another big system that we can kind of show off too, and one that we alluded to a bit with the PvP zones, is kind of the map and the layout of the world. Do you want to bring up the map,
Yes.
Brandon?
I love having the map in here.
So we have a map of both the state and the zone that you're in. So this is also a work in progress. Visuals can change, but one really exciting thing is that you can actually see where you are in the world. You could tell your friend, here's where I am. You can put a marker down to remember that there's something there. There's a metal deposit or something you want to go back to, or a friend's base. You're able to just kind of get a sense of space of where things are. So this is the zone map. You can see, you could say, run up that, the road. I'm in the northeast up there. Let's go to the state map section there. So here's the state. One really cool thing, got the Georgia peach up there in the corner. It's very important.
You wouldn't know it's Georgia otherwise.
So you can see right now we have in our dev environment, we have, is that 11? How many zones do we have there if you zoom in a bit? There you go, 3, 7, 8. Hey, I got quite a memory. So previously we had 9 zones and it was in the diamond pattern, and the diamond pattern was important because it was easy to implement that way. But now we have a full county that we're going to be using for this next demo. So it'll be 81 zones that people can move around and play in. This
outline here is representing a full county. You can see the 10 counties outlined here.
So we'll have that county playable, this demo, and you can see that right now we also can traverse across those 11 zones. It's in an arbitrary layout. And so we are pretty close to getting the full county in there, which will give a lot more space. In the last demo, those trees were hard to come by. The metal was hard to come by. This will hopefully give more room to explore and allow more people to play the game enjoyably with that space.
Yeah, you should be able to choose if you want to be near other people, especially if they're your allies and you're kind of carving out your space in the world, or if you kind of want to wander out somewhere and be alone in the wilderness with the walkers. Then hopefully you can find that space to do so.
And then I think kind of one last thing before we get to more of like a Q&A section here, and then maybe there's other stuff I missed that you'll want to talk about, Brandon, but we will be playable on the Mac this time around as well. So not just PC only. We've got the Mac build back to parity with our PC counterpart. So we can hopefully have anybody who was feeling left out last time around jumping in, as we've had success with our devs playing on the Mac this time around too. So January 31st, you'll be able to download and play. Was there anything I missed? There's a lot of little touches that we've improved over the last few months too.
Yeah, it's kind of it's something we are experiencing every day and stuff. So I think you've touched on most of the new things. There's some daily tasks going on over here. I think we had chat going on before that everyone was able to see. You can see we've got some improvements. I just started a walker wave coming to my base here as I'm upgrading it. You can see there's something on your HUD now that's counting down the timer and showing the health of your HQ up there. And I'm getting attacked from all directions. Oh, I'm going to get exploded now.
You got quite a wave. What did you just level up there? Walker Stalker.
My Walker Stalker, which means I'm killing some walkers, doing the game.
We got a team member helping you out too.
Yeah. All right. I said I was gonna let one of these things attack me, so let's see what happens. Oh, Negan might save my life. Well, I believe I was gonna be stunned there, but I didn't see it happen.
I don't think it's 100% stun. I think there's a chance of stun on that attack.
All right. Well, Morgan's really good at avoiding stuns, apparently.
He is good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, taking questions. We'll be around here for another 10 to 30 minutes, hanging out with the crew, watching the team play the game, watching Brandon play the game. Yeah, type your questions in the YouTube channel, or go to our Discord and type it in there in the Tweety discussion channel. Happy to take questions and answer them live. That makes it more exciting than the ones that were sent in earlier, but happy to go through those too because we like answering questions. So let's see here. Somebody asks, I heard it mentioned that crafting stations can be upgraded all the way to ancient. What is the purpose of buying an ancient crafting station?
So you won't be able to ever change the rarity of your crafting station if that's what the question is. having an ancient crafting station will give you the best quality of crafting. And so it's something that players should seek out. As you can see, kind of like how I placed these crafting stations outside my walls so that anyone can come up and use them. If these are crafting station NFTs that I own, whenever players are crafting here and paying a fee to craft, then that is coming to me, and I'm also earning some renown, which is bumping me up on leaderboards to win rewards. So the more people that use them, the better. And the ancient crafting stations are the best. They will produce the best quality of items. So as you can see in my inventory here, I have this 4-star axe. I got lucky. I must have crafted that one at the crafting station. It's way better, and it's going to last a lot longer than my 1-star and 2-star stuff in here. So players should be seeking out to use these. And it'll, like, how accessible you make it and where you place it in the world could be important too. Because if you're way far off in the corner, players may not be willing to travel there in order to craft. So you may want to find a more central location. But when I'm crafting things, I want to craft them at an ancient crafting station because it's going to be the best step.
Okay, the next question, just kind of some more playtest details as we like to pepper in through the stream here. January 31st is the playtest, and it will be live for 2 weeks. So we're hoping to keep it live for 2 weeks on that one, so people can really enjoy it over that time, make progress, and upgrade that base. Join an alliance with your friends, and build up something big and fun. The question coming in from NFT Chuck, was there any talk of using our NFTs? So we touched on it briefly, and I think I'll keep it brief right now, but yes, the idea is that you'll be able to pull in and play as any of the character NFTs that you own. You'll be able to pull in and place any of the crafting station NFTs you own, and you will be able to get some benefits for owning land in the demo as well. So some gameplay benefits. So yeah, we'll, I think, be touching on all of this at a later date between now and the playtest. Brandon and I are hoping to get back on here and talk more specifically about the NFTs. So we just have a lot to discuss in the short amount of time. We really wanted to keep the focus on the gameplay here. The team's been working so hard over the last months. It's cool to I didn't realize we had a half an hour straight of talking about the stuff, but yeah, it's great.
We love showing off the stuff, and I know a lot of this hasn't been shown off yet, so it's kind of, it's what we love. Show what we've been doing. Probably what you guys like more than just hearing us talk anyway.
Yep. Can crafting stations be destroyed is a question.
They cannot be. So these ones here, as you saw, I kind of just built these ones, but any of your NFTs that you're able to place into the game will not, other players cannot destroy them. So they will be safe. You don't have to worry about them or defend them in any way.
Another question coming in here from Jackanaut. Will there be reasons for players to go to a lower tier crafting station to craft items instead of a higher tier crafting station?
Yeah, kind of like what I was alluding to earlier is sometimes the proximity, a low level crafting station, I may choose to go and do some crafting there just because it will be really quick, especially if I'm far away. The closest legendary or ancient crafting station that I'm looking for might be quite a journey, and so I'll choose the other one. There's also the owner of it will be able to control the level of fee that they charge for it. Could be that whoever's got the ancient crafting station that I want to use is just like charging a super high fee, and I see someone with a legendary or a rare or something that is a much more reasonable fee, and so I decide to use that one. Sometimes you'll even just do your crew crafting because you're just desperate for a crappy weapon because whatever you had broke and you just need something to defend yourself.
So you have a question from Baylove03, when game launch, and the answer to that is, I mean, it's not straightforward, but we're looking towards next year, the end of next year. But in the meantime from that, so we've got the demo January 31st. And really at this point, our plan is to do much more frequent. So our last public demo was August. That's 3-4 months since the last one, and we're hoping that the cadence will get a little faster. It won't be fully, progress saved with each demo, but we're hoping that with each demo we'll get a little bit more, until the point where there's a live game that's kind of running. And so that's the strategy. That's what we're looking for. But target of end of next year. The question from Deepak BK coming in: can I control the character without using the mouse? The WASD or gamepad would be the question there. So the answer is right now the mouse. We're trying to make a really solid, good experience on PC as the lead SKU. We want to make this the best experience possible, and to do so, we are using the mouse and keyboard input for the controls. So in the future, we're hoping to look to other platforms, potentially console, most likely mobile, and that will change the input that we're looking for. So
and we want to allow as much like key mapping freedom and stuff to change controls, but major changes like how you actually control the movement of the character. Changing to keyboard from the click to move is probably not something that would be supported in the key mapping changes.
Yep, but it's for those who aren't in the game industry. Making a solid control scheme is a very tough thing to begin with, and when you add on different layers of options and different ways to control, things get harder and harder. So while we're building the game and making it, as great of an experience we can, just keeping it point and click, and this initial key binding sort of strategy lets us really make sure things feel tight, they feel good, and when somebody hops in, they're like, "Oh, this is a great experience." Beyond that, then once we have that dialed in, that lets us look at other platforms, lets us look at other control schemes and ways to make the game. So I would be happy with the mouse and keyboard input right now, and we're gonna do our best to make that feel super solid. And then in the future, we'll look for different options. Okay, so more questions coming in too on just like how you'll be able to play. So January 31st, next play test, running live for 2 weeks. Just go to Gala.Games. You'll be able to download the game right there, and it's open to everybody. You don't need an NFT to play. We've been building this game from the beginning to be free to play, accessible. We want just as many people as can be to play our game. We want it, it's the more people play it, the better experience it is for everybody. So we want everybody in here. We want them playing, whether you are free to play and will never, spend a dime in it, whether you're free to play and are looking to purchase our in-game currency to do stuff, or whether you're an NFT owner and are able to augment your playstyles with NFTs, and then also be able to use them in different ways. Like that's kind of like we need the whole pyramid to make this game just thrive and succeed. Okay, let's go to, toss your questions into the Discord, toss your questions into the YouTube. We'll get to those. We've got a few that we have from people who wrote in. Our community moderator, Doug Sunny, has been doing an awesome job in the Discord, and he took some questions for us as well so that we can answer some of those when we don't have live ones as well. So Brandon, how big is the map?
For the upcoming demo, it's going to be 81 zones. And a zone is 256 by 256 meters. And so 81 of those, that's one county, is what we're going to have in the demo. And then when the game goes live, we'll have 10 counties in the whole state. So that's 810 zones. So you can do the math on how many square kilometers that is. I'm not going to do that in my head. But it's big.
A large map. I've got another question for you here. Will there be fog of war to create jump scares?
There's not going to be fog of war. In a way, we are kind of experimenting with a day-night cycle. And at night, the darkness would be darker away from your character. And so in a way that's kind of, walkers that are approaching you in the dark could be sort of more jump scary. But I mean, the goal there is not like jump scares. You know, this isn't that type of game per se. But you might get scared if all of a sudden you're running around in the dark trying to collect resources and there's a walker right on top of you.
Do you startle easy, Brandon?
I don't. No.
No, you wouldn't be scared by seeing a walker wandering. What if I jumped out of the darkness and went boo?
I might scream internally, but I just go stone face when I'm scared, and people think I'm not actually scared.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I do appreciate someone who's nice and jumpy. It's always fun to have that friend that you can scare, get a really good reaction from.
A good question coming in from James Suddy on the YouTubes. Have you managed to speed up the transitions between zones, and will the transitions between counties be the same as between zones? And yes, so counties are just more zones. They're delineated by some gameplay features that we'll be adding, and just kind of the closeness to different rarities of zones as well. But those transitions will all be the same. Right now, the zone transitions are the same as what they were in the previous playtest. We will be looking into optimizing those to get into the nerdy weeds a bit. We've been playing around with addressable assets within Unity, playing around with different strategies for load time. So it's something that we're looking into, both for making the development of the game easier and then also for making zone transitions as instantaneous as possible. So it'll allow us to do cool things like streaming in the assets behind the scenes and things like that. Most likely won't be seeing the benefits in the next January demo, but you definitely will be seeing those down the road. So good question. Deepak BK asking, vehicles and pets, question mark. I assume the
So I'm not sure about pets, but we are working on getting some animals going in the environment. Obviously, you're not seeing any right now. But there will be wildlife out here that you can hunt and kill and turn into food, and then take to your cookery and cook yourself a nice kebab or whatever. But yeah, I don't think we're planning on letting you find a deer and turn it into your pet or anything.
Ride the deer, pet the deer. Yeah. So yep. So those would be not on the roadmap currently, but things that the team does constantly talk about. Everybody loves petting a dog in a game, so maybe someday in the future, that'd be my beautiful dream. It's a dog I could pet.
You're still watching me play. I finally got the parts I needed to craft my assault rifle, and I crafted some ammo for it before, so now I'm much better armed. Can actually shoot bullets instead of swinging a bat.
Now you can show off that the walker enemy as well that does range stuff. So we'll get to that. Let's hear the question from: will the whole state eventually be full-on PvP, or will it stay as PvP zones like this playtest? So the answer to that is we're going to have specific zones for PvP. We've talked about having events where PvP could happen, but that's a work in progress, something we'll just keep kind of discussing and seeing. And really a lot of it is we're going to see how PvP is received by the community with this playtest, how people utilize it, what it feels like. And Brandon, I realized that we missed a whole section of stuff I wanted to talk about too, being the leaderboards. And also I need to send a message here to the team. So we need to schedule an event. But yeah, you want to bring up the leaderboards and talk about that?
All right, I got no leaderboards currently available.
Okay.
But yes, so there will be leaderboard events that will run things for like killing walkers or gathering resources that players can compete over. And then there will be rewards, obviously, for placing higher on those leaderboards. There will also be some leaderboards that you can use just to kind of track stats and your power as a player that are just kind of constantly available. So you can just, compare yourself to others as people like to do, know how good you're doing.
Yeah, one exciting thing about it too is that we can create events that happen in the PvP areas. So if it was a kill walker event that happens in the battle zones, like you'll need to transition into an area where you're not just killing the walkers, you're also making sure that there isn't a hostile alliance that's in there that's also looking to take you down, which will cause durability damage to your items you have on you. You'll lose some of your other items. So it just creates this really cool gameplay loop that I'm excited to see how that plays out in the next demo as well. So that was a long answer to a somewhat short question, but yeah. So PvP, we're excited to have that on in the areas that it'll be on for this next demo, and we'll kind of assess after that to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing. Like, we want to make the game as fun as possible, and if players are just griefing each other, and you're not able to have fun anywhere or ever feel any feeling of safety with our current playtesting, that that is a less fun experience. So we're trying to create some environments where players can kind of focus on their survival stuff without other players ruining the experience for them. And if you see on the right side of my screen now, an event has appeared.
Heck yeah. Now we can show off these leaderboards.
This is much better looking than a screen that says no leaderboard. So you can see with the other players that are in here playing with me right now, we're scoring points for collecting resources. It's a placeholder description in case you didn't know. We've got 10 minutes on this event, so in the actual game, these will be running for a lot longer than 10 minutes. This is kind of what we use in our dev environment. You can look at the instructions, which are clearly highly detailed already. But yeah, so this is kind of a fun thing that kind of inspires me to want to collect more resources so I can do better than everyone else.
And a question came in asking about pillaging and destroying bases, kind of going back to the PvP stuff too for clarification there. So we may do an event that you're allowed to go in and just kind of take down bases at any point. And we've also are mulling around the idea of creating outpost bases in the PvP areas where you and your alliance could build something up and have battles over that. So those are some of the strategies we're looking to employ. But as a single player experience, we don't want you to really spend your time and effort really building something up and then to have just some high level player or alliance come in and grief you and take your stuff down, because it's just not. We want it to be fun.
During the demo, so I'm in the PvP zone right now. You will be able, if you choose, you can come and build your HQ in there, and other players will be able to come and attack it. We don't have the defensive structures to help you out right there, so it may not be the best choice to build where people can come and attack you, but it is your choice, so you can try it.
Okay, a few more questions here. We have about 10 minutes left before we're gonna end things on the stream. So get your questions in on YouTube or in our Discord tweet discussion. Happy to answer questions as people have them, as we're watching Brandon play around, watching the team play around. What role will the heroes play in the game, and how will they affect each player? So we talked a little bit about that, but Brandon, you want to go through any more details on that?
Yeah, so each of your heroes is kind of a playable hero, a playable character. You can switch between them. So as you saw there at the beginning, I was able to choose between all the 20 characters that we have available for this demo. Chose Morgan, so all the gameplay that I'm doing now, when you see the leveling up and the masteries and all that, it's tied directly to that character. So if I got someone else I was more interested in and I decided I wanted to sell Morgan to somebody else, I could do that. It's all packaged into the NFT there, and obviously you can do with your NFTs as you see fit. But all of that ties to the character. There will be other places to use. So as I'm playing with Morgan now, if I have other heroes that I have available, I'll be able to assign them to different roles. I could assign it to my party where they would buff me as I'm going around. could assign it to some of the buildings at my base, the crafting stations, or some of the defensive buildings. And based on what hero it was and what building it was, or whatever role that they're being assigned to, they will benefit in different ways. And we've talked about that kind of before, about like Eugene at the arsenal helping with the ammo crafting, or Rosita at the lab helping out with medical supplies. So characters that have certain attributes about them, they will buff different things in different ways. But every character will provide some sort of benefit wherever they are slotted. And then the scale of those benefits will tie in with the rarity of the hero.
Okay. Question that came in here was asking about tasks within the game. So like fetch quests or delivering something from point A to point B, will they get a reward? Those are things that we are looking to add later. Right now, it's much more just kind of gathering your resources, building up your base, getting to higher levels, defeating the hordes. But we do have some cool stuff coming in. We have some horde tech that we're working on. Our engineer Alex is getting in some stuff that's going to allow us to actually spawn a group of walkers that sticks together. Will allow us to spawn harder walkers in an area where they defeat these walkers, and then you'll be able to get a reward from that. We've got some cool concepts that we'll have to share with the Discord soon of the well walker, a favorite from the show that will most likely be a sort of an instance that you'll stumble upon in the world, and just kind of neat set pieces that we're looking to add. Our combat designer Paul is really excited about getting those into the game. So those are all it's an iterative building process of getting this more and more with each demo, which is exciting to have everybody play and for us to share. Let's see here. Will we see any urban landscapes in the next play test? And roughly, when do we expect to have the land rush? So those are two questions. The first one, the urban landscapes. We're getting a lot of buildings made, looking to get them in the game. We want to get them in the good way to where they don't obstruct gameplay. And then also, making sure that it's a great experience as you're playing. It's something we're looking to add, but most likely won't be in this next demo. And then as for the land rush, I think the best answer, like Brandon, you've got a good way of phrasing it. So
yeah, it's something I've always kind of said, is that we don't want players going out and choosing blindly. We want you all to know why you would prefer one area over another. Kind of like what I was alluding to earlier. If you have crafting stations and you have chosen your land plot way off in the corner, where you were hoping a lot of people would be coming by to use your stuff, then you're kind of less accessible. That sort of information that everyone needs to know of why they would choose one place over another. So we don't want to do the land rush until that knowledge is out there. And as we're iterating on the game and making decisions on different systems and stuff, it can affect those choices. And so we don't want you guys to choose where you'd have something, and then design choice with the game would affect that. So we want to get most things nailed down before we do any sort of land rush.
Okay. Another question just came in from James Badia on the YouTubes. Basically asking about our economy and our strategies for that. So we are planning on releasing more details on that. We've been planning for some time, but we've also been learning a lot from our previous launches now. Spider Tanks is teaching us a bunch. So we are trying to get a light paper together and some more information that we'll be discussing next month in the run up to the demo. So that is stuff we want to share and things we want people to be informed about as well. But that's something we'll cover in another time here as we're able to give that information. Let's see here. Will there be teleportation? I guess that's we have some forms of that.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, I don't think it's going to necessarily be phrased as teleportation, but there will be some ways to fast travel. I mean, clearly, like when I died, I spawned back at my base. So I guess technically that is sort of teleportation. But yes, there will be ways to do fast travel besides dying. The specific details of those, there's a couple options that we're playing with. And as we get that in, then we will reveal it to you guys and let you know how it works.
Okay, we've had I saw a question come in earlier, and then there's one that was sent in over the last couple of days, just kind of asking about empires and the concept of empires. So what does that look like with kind of the rejiggering of the alliance systems?
Yeah, so you can, like I said, you can form your alliances with whatever players you want to play with, and that will give you that kind of more tight-knit group where everyone in your alliance is sharing the same territory. You can build in each other's territory. You can work together to have your territory kind of overlap and make it more powerful and defended from other people taking it over. And then as you pledge one alliance to another, that will form you together as an empire, and that can be chained together where my alliance might pledge to a more powerful alliance and a lower alliance might pledge to me. And together we'd form an empire where it kind of gives your characters the default state of being allies, but not as intimate of a relationship as being in the actual same alliance. So it's kind of like a lighter alliance. And then there will be some competitions and stuff, like with the leaderboards and things like that between your alliances or between empires. Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably missed some stuff. But
okay, I think we're going to do one last question here. I want to, before we take the question, I'll just thank everybody for hopping on here. Thank you for hopping on and asking us questions on YouTube. Thank you for hopping on and asking questions on the Discord. We'll be doing a few more of these in the coming month, and then everybody gets their hands on this again. Brandon?
Yeah, I think that's the best thing, like actually putting it out there for you guys to interact with and play with and figure things out in the game. So much better than us kind of like trying to explain it with words. Pictures worth 1,000 words or whatever. A game worth a million words.
So this one's a pretty light question. What's the difference between a common and ancient character?
So as I talked about, kind of when you could slot or assign your other heroes to all the different areas in the game, the benefits that they provide, it's going to be scaled by the rarity of those heroes. There's benefits that your hero will provide in the game as well. There's the different rarities will unlock more potential for earning and stuff in the game. You can see like over here with daily tasks and stuff, having higher rarity things in general is kind of always providing benefits. I'm kind of like there's certain things that it will unlock that we haven't talked about yet. That's why I'm kind of not saying those things. But it'll be better, and then I'll reveal the more details of these systems when we are ready to.
There we go. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us. January 31st is our next demo. It'll be on PC and Mac. You'll be able to go to Gala Games to download it. Do not need to own an NFT to play. Just hop on, download, and have some fun. This has been a fantastic experience. I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. Make sure to go to our Discord, sign up for that. Check out the Tweety announcements for whenever we're going to do some more AMAs. We've got more coming up in the next month, and we'll announce them there. And we're just always, capturing your questions in there. We are paying attention to the community. We love hearing from you. And I just can't wait for people to play again. I'm a little scared and really excited, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll jump in there and play with you. It'll be fun.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great, great end of your year, and we will see you in 2023. Woo woo.
Thank you.